hello if you're here. Obviously, don't say hello if you're not here because that won't really work, will it? I'm just being slightly distracted by the cutest little sausage dog puppy you've ever seen. I wish I could pick up the sausage dog puppy through my window and give you a little show, but it's just so cute. It's really tiny. I think she just said it's 6 weeks old or something. I don't really want a dog at all, but I do like looking at other people's dogs. Hello, Tara, and hello, Pamela. Good morning from New York. Morning from Indiana, Marianne. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm just organising myself. I've got my water. I've got some very lively kombucha here. Really, what's everybody else drinking? You're from Arkansas. What's everybody else drinking in the morning? It's just after midday. I'm drinking some kombucha. Do we know about kombucha? We make our own kombucha. This batch is particularly winky and sometimes makes me feel a bit funny, actually. I'm not sure. I don't think it's got alcohol in it, but sometimes when I drink it, I'm like, oh, hello, that's quite lively. Oh, what is Kangen water, Tara? What is Kangen water? I am in Aberdeen, Marianne. Do tell us about Kangen water. I've not heard of that. Shall we have a view? Shall we have a look at the view? I think we should. Oh, matcha lattes. I do like a matcha latte. There's the view, look, of the lovely sea. It's a bit misty today. So I'm in Aberdeen, Marianne. Absolutely beautiful part of the world. I've just been for a lovely walk along the front. But it's the last one because we're heading south this afternoon. We're heading back to Leeds, which is where I actually live. It is a lovely part of the world. It's really, really lovely. And I've been parked on this beach for, oh goodness, how long have we been here now? Yeah, a little over a week. We came last Monday, so a week and a bit we've been here. And now the cute sausage dog is just right outside my window. Honestly, it's so cute. Very distracted by the cute sausage dog today. Hydrogen water and alkaline water. I have never heard of that. Do you make your own kombucha, Hannah? Or do you buy it in? It's really easy to make, you know. Really easy to make. It's just, you just need green tea and sugar. But by the time you drink it, there's no sugar in it. So kombucha's not any sugar in it because it gets fermented away. And then you need to buy a SCOBY. And you can get those off the internet. And then you need some big jars and a bit of muslin and something to tie the muslin on. Rubber bands we use to hold the muslin on top of the jars. And it's really, what's the SCOBY? The SCOBY is like the mother, I don't know what you'd call it. It's the culture. That's the word. It's the culture. So look it up on the internet. They look like some kind of alien. Does a SCOBY. They look like an alien creature, or like a jellyfish. They just got sort of a blob of jelly. And what happens when you make your own kombucha is they reproduce. I should really go into SCOBY production, although it's a long way to send the SCOBYs to you guys because you're such a long way away. But yeah, you can when you start making the kombucha, the SCOBYs reproduce. So we now have a lot more SCOBYs than what we started with, and we're going to start making a few more. Make our kombucha a bit further ahead now because we actually have an issue with fermenting in the winter because it's just not warm enough. Mostly just plain green tea. So we're going to try lemon green tea next. And because I'm not really sure about the flavouring of it. I know you can get it flavoured, and I don't really know the process of whether they flavour it before they make it, while they're making it, whether they flavour it afterwards. I'm not really sure what the process is there. But the stuff that we make is great. This is a lively. Why do I drink it, Pamela? Brilliant question. It's supposed to be good for your gut bacteria. Now, here's an interesting story, actually, because I was drinking a lot of kombucha at one point, and I was speaking to a functional medicine doctor, and I was talking about how I had a lot of headaches, and she said to me, have you looked at histamine in your diet? And I went, I don't know what histamine is. And the first thing that was on the list of things that are high in histamine was kombucha. So at that point, I stopped drinking it because because I believed the story that kombucha was giving me a headache. Interesting. And then recently, I've just kind of noticed, I don't know, there's something changed about the way I think about my body and my body's capabilities to handle things, my body's ability to lose weight, my body's ability to be healthy. It's just changed. And I can really see that in the fact that I can now drink kombucha and I don't have a headache. I used to feel like I had a hangover some days after drinking it. Yeah, it's good for your gut bacteria, Pamela, apparently. It's Japanese, I think, in origin. And mine makes me go like this batch, because in the summer it ferments really fast and it goes fizzy. So sometimes we go to um, get it out of the bottle and the bottle goes, like a bottle of beer or something. Um, but in the winter it's a bit harder to make. We can't find a place that's warm enough and the scabies tend to die and it's not so good. So we need to get making ahead of time. Although over the next week it's going to be really warm, so it'll be really good kombucha making weather. Clearly, Britain is having this weird. We're having this weird divided summer. We had a massively hot month in June, then July and August were just horrible. Just so much water falling from the sky, and now we're having what we call this an Indian summer in the UK. If we have like a return to summer in September or October, we call it an Indian summer. It's been absolutely lovely. A bit cooler today, but it's been lovely. So welcome. This is a new time slot to make for me, so I guess there might be people who are not normally here. Do say hello. Lots of you already said hello. Lots of familiar faces, lots of repeat offenders. But if you're new here, say hello too, and let me know what brought you to this session today. Yeah, I'm not a fan of coffee. I'm a tea drinker, Pamela, but I'm from Yorkshire, so you might have known that would be the case. Although I'm sure lots of people in Yorkshire drink coffee too. I'm not a big coffee fan. I do drink chicory coffee. Anybody else drink chicory? I've got some people who are quite into healthy stuff. Hello, Naomi. Welcome. Oh, what a cute bunny. My daughter loves bunnies. She's been nagging me to buy a bunny for years, and she's still nagging now. And she's at university. I'm like, what am I going to do with a bunny when you're not here? So yes, my daughter's bunny fantasies of owning a bunny. I had a bunny when I was little, actually. He was called Shadow, and he was a grey Netherland dwarf, and he used to live in the house mostly. Anyway, enough about bunnies. So let me know if you're new here, if you've been before, if you're a repeat offender. Let me know what brought you here today. So this series of sessions with me, called Sustainable Calm, episode by episode. This is episode 4, I believe. The reason I'm doing that now is because I want to just connect. I'm really seeing, and we're going to talk about innate well-being today, but I would say I'm trying to connect to what's inside me. And when I was scheduling those lives so far ahead, I didn't feel I was connecting so much to what I wanted to talk about in the moment. And so I'm just allowing the titles. And in fact, the title to this one, Innate Wellbeing, only came on my walk. So it came to me about an hour ago. And I'm doing all sorts of different things at the moment where I'm just noticing where my wisdom's guiding me to go. I used to do a live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook on my Facebook page every morning, and I've just not done that this week. I've just started my day intuitively, and still kind of done the things that have been good for me. Like yesterday morning, I did a bit of work when I first woke up. Apparently, you're not supposed to do that, are you? If you're going to be well. We'll be talking about these myths as we go through this session. And I did a bit of work, and then about 10 o'clock, maybe 9:30, I thought, you know what, the beach looks nice, it's a lovely day. I'm going to go take a plastic mat and my yoga mat. I'm going to go do my yoga on the beach. And I did my yoga on the beach. And then I did another little bit of work, and then I went for a walk. Got sunburned quite badly because I forgot to put my sun cream on. And then I came back and I did a little bit of work. And I made some tea. And then I chatted to you lot. And then Bruce came home and we ate. And then I chatted to a client. The day just kind of, I'm seeing that I'm quite into my routines, and I don't think that's connecting to what's innately good for me in the moment as much as this. I'm kind of trying to do a little bit more of what I kind of say to do, which is to not do anything that anybody else tells you to do, not do any routine that anybody else tells you to do, and that your well-being has nothing to do with any of that. And we're going to really explore that today, because through talking about innate well-being, we'll talk about all the things that are not really pointing us there. And there are many, many things not pointing us to our innate well-being at the moment. So many things. So a little bit more about me if you're new here, although I'm not sure how many new people there are. Let me know if you're new, if you've not been before. I won't do a massive long introduction about me if people have met me before, because everybody's heard it before. Primary school head teacher till 2015, when I burnt out, didn't work for a year, was very poorly, resigned, started a little business doing hypnotherapy, don't do hypnotherapy now, then got really into self-help, trying to fix myself, poking in the past, doing all the tools and all the techniques, trying to find my well-being by doing, which is just not where it comes from at all. And then came across this inside out understanding known as the 3 principles in January 2020, and life very quickly changed quite dramatically. And I've been on a journey with that, both in terms of my own seeing of it and my sharing of it since then. And on Insight Timer, I do these live sessions. I have 5 courses now. The course that, if you haven't come up to me before, the first course I would do is the Sustainable Calm one, because that's going to give you the grounding in the 3 principles. And in that course, it does point to some other courses if you want to explore one of the other issues more deeply. In these sessions, we've been exploring what feelings are, what thoughts are, because here we're not going to be about changing your thoughts and feelings, but we are going to start to see them in a different way, and therefore completely transform our experience of life. Because the problem is not thoughts and feelings, it's that we think they're a problem. I really like that. I have to write it down. I feel like I should have somebody doing the dictation, but the problem is not. Yeah, that's the thing. So we spend a lot of time trying to change our thoughts, trying to change our feelings, as I did, as lots of people who are hanging about on Insight Timer will be doing. In actual fact, it's the change in relationship with those things that is truly transformational. And that's what I experienced from January 2020. And now I help other people to experience the same thing. And that takes people from living life from a place of stress, anxiety, overwhelm, which just kind of looks like the way life is, doesn't it? Now these days, it looks like, wow, life's just so stressful. That phrase is plastered all over the place. Life is very stressful. Well, not if you don't believe stress comes from the outside world. But we kind of bought into that, aren't we? We're bought into stress, anxiety, overwhelm, but that is just, life's a bit like that now. And so I help people to see it doesn't have to be like that, and that we can actually have everything and live our dream life and do all of those things whilst being powered by calm, not stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. And so that's why I help people to be powered by calm, to connect to their own wisdom, to see, to feel more guided, to feel more in that flow state, which many of us are seeking. If we're on a kind of seeking journey, we're going to be looking for a feeling of flow a lot of the time. That's the last of the kombucha. I'm going to stop winking now. So I'd love to know what brought you here today. If you'd like to share, that would be cool to hear, especially if you're new, but also if you're a regular, if you're a person who comes to my sessions regularly. What is bringing you back What is bringing you here today? What's brought you back again? It's always good for me to hear what people are seeing around this. What's shifting, what's changing, what seems to be different, what you've heard that made you think, oh, hang on a minute, that's a bit interesting, I'm going to go back there again. So, that's enough about me. I think it's time we got cracking. Move my mic a bit nearer, it feels like it's quite a long way away today. So, innate well-being. That's what we're going to talk about today. So let me know in the comments if you've already got some sense of well, let's talk about well-being first. Like what is that? What is well-being? Yeah, I love that, Pamela. You want to be with others who want to find more meaning, better life, etc. Nice. I like that. I like the sense of community here on Insight Timer. Jerry Joe, natural goodness. That's lovely. Really lovely. So, is that your definition of well-being, Jerry Joe? Natural goodness. I like that. Oh, that's beautiful. I really like that. Natural goodness. Because it is natural. It is natural, is our well-being. It's the well of being. It's the essence of who we are. But I think in the majority of cases, we're not being pointed towards that. We're being told to look elsewhere for it, aren't we? We're being told to look for tools and techniques and strategies, and we've been told to look in the past, and we've been told to resolve our trauma. We've been told that we're wounded. I was in a session the other day, doesn't matter where somebody was talking about wounds, that we have wounds due to trauma, due to experiences we've had when we're younger. Sounds really serious, doesn't it? Sounds like that's something we're really going to have to go and deal with. Where are the wounds? Where am I going to go inside and have some surgery for them? There's this idea that the well-being we have can be chipped away at and damaged and wounded and broken. Being without perhaps will be enough, yeah. So let's talk about little children again, because I do like to. I think they're a really good, we learn from our children all the time, don't we? But I think it's really good to look at children and see how children are, because they're in the place of before conditioning. They haven't learnt the things that all of us may have learned about the problem that we are, or that there's something wrong with us, or that we've got a label or whatever else. And when we think about well-being, I know when you look at the kind of official definition of well-being, maybe on the National Health Service website or something like that, it talks about things like resilience and confidence and that ability to manage life and change and the ups and downs. Sydney Banks, the originator of the understanding I share, he talks about life being a contact sport. Now, you find me a child that can't do that. And I mean a little child, I mean pre-conditioning, pre-learning from the adults around them who are kind of a bit shaky. Bless us all. We're all doing our best, but we are a bit shaky, aren't we? You show me an 18-month-old or a 2-year-old who doesn't have all of those traits in abundance. A child at that age literally fails on a moment by moment basis. They've learned to walk, they're learning to talk, they're learning to navigate the whole of life. They're learning what tastes they like. They're just learning loads and loads of different things. They're experiencing many, many emotions. They're probably not too aware of their thinking yet. It's still there, but they're not so aware of it. If you spend time with a little child, you'll see them just flow through emotions. Flow through, and that means they're flowing. That means thought is flowing through them too. The energy of thought is also flowing through. And that's where I'm pointing to in my own particular way. But really, I'm encouraging you to look, you to see that there is something that we're born with. This essence, this innate well-being, this innate health. As far as I know, little children don't need therapy. They don't need to poke around in their past. They don't need to do tools and techniques to flow through their emotions. They don't need any of that. And the confidence, resilience, we see that when they fall and get up and fall and get up. We see confidence. You go to a wedding, and who's the first on the dance floor? In fact, I was at a wedding anniversary party, a 50-year, is that golden? Yeah, golden wedding anniversary party of my mum's cousin a few weeks ago. And as predicted, the toddler was the first one on the dance floor. Not bothered about what anybody else was doing. And the adults took a while. I was one of the first adults on the dance floor. Because I don't think so much about what other people are thinking about me anymore, and I like dancing. I've been out dancing for ages. Kind of got out of the groove with that kind of thing, with the whole lockdown shenanigans. So we can see that, can't we? We can see these innate qualities, and there's a list of them. There's something about being at peace. Like we're talking here about an understanding that can help us to relate differently to our thoughts and feelings. To relate to our thoughts and feelings like a small child does, because they don't care. They don't care. They go through thoughts and feelings. They undulate. They go up and down. They are crying one minute and angry the next and happy the next, and they don't care. There's no analysis. There's no poking around. There's no trying to fix any of that. There's just this wonderful flow that just is happening. Now, my favourite metaphor around this, and I'm not the originator of this metaphor, I'm not really sure who is, to be fair. I know it's one that Michael Neal uses, but I know lots of people use this metaphor, and that is that essence I'm talking about that we can see in little children is a diamond. Now, the reason we talk about it being like a diamond, and this, of course, is just me pointing in a direction to understand the essence of who you really are, and this concept of innate well-being. The reason we call it a diamond is because a diamond is unbreakable. There's very few things that can damage a diamond. I think titanium's the only thing you can use. What do they use to cut diamonds? I think it is titanium, isn't it? There's not many what's the word? A compound is two of these things stuck together. There's a table of them in chemistry. What are they called? Elements. Hey, we got there in the end. But there are not many elements in the world that can damage carbon. Of course, diamonds are made out of carbon. Can damage diamonds. Which kind of, I hope, helps us to see something about this thing I'm calling innate well-being. That it's solid, it's rock solid. We call diamonds rocks, don't we? But it's rock solid. And so you're probably wondering, why on earth can't we all see it then? Why are we not all floating around like happy little 2-year-olds? Why are we not all like that? Why are people overeating and over drinking and overspending and over everything? Why are people hurting each other? Why are people suffering? Why is there so much mental illness? What? Come on, Claire. You must be bonkers if you think that it's all still there inside. Why is it that people aren't happy then? Why are people not well? And, going to your comment, Jerry J, they prove to us that, I'm not sure about happiness, but contentment doesn't require anything, doesn't require safety. How many times a day does a small child feel unsafe as they fall and get up, as they try to talk? Safety is an internal thing, not an external thing. It's inside. There's no, our physical body may sometimes be in danger, but that's pretty rare. We're talking there about psychological safety, which is only coming from inside. It's a perception. So why is it that, why is it? I'm asking you guys. What comment? Pop in the comments. Why? Why is there so much suffering in the world? Why are we all not still going, check out my shiny diamond? It's here. I'm just pure diamond all the time. Check me out. Well, a number of things come to mind. The first thing is thought. I mean, it's the first, last, and the final. It's the first, middle, and a story's supposed to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. The beginning is thought. The middle is thought. The end is, you're going to guess it, it's thought. It's all thought. It's all thought. Not your thinking, it's all thought. It's all the energy of thought. That's what's hiding it. That's where your innate well-being is. It's just hiding under thought. And that's why, sometimes people in the three principles say it's, your connection to well-being is only ever a thought away. And have you seen that yourself? Have you seen your innate well-being shine through in the moment when you just weren't expecting it to be there? I was just listening to a podcast before I came on here, and it's a lovely story about this lady who's doing the podcast. She's a three principles coach. And she was talking about how she was running this group coaching thing with about 4 ladies, and it was all about health anxiety. And they'd done week 3, and on the Wednesday, I think they were due to do week 4 on the next Wednesday. One of the women, these are women who are struggling with health anxiety, had a heart attack. And this woman's main concern about health was having a heart attack, because her dad had a heart attack, and somebody else had had a heart attack. She had a lot of thinking about heart attacks. And in actual fact, when this heart attack was happening, it's almost like having a heart attack. And she's just like super calm and present and just dealing with it as it unfolded. Right, I best call an ambulance. Now I'm going to call my husband. She was like utterly present with what was happening. Isn't it amazing? And maybe you've had an experience like that. Sometimes I think those emergency moments force us to be utterly in the present moment. My story like that is my cow chasing story. I don't know if any of you have heard the cow chase story, but I was on a walk in about pre-lockdown, so I think, so probably, yeah, 2018. Anyway, I was on this walk, and I went into this field. There's an official public footpath. It's called the Carvely Millennium Way. It's an official footpath, and the clever farmer, bless him, had to put mums and babies. It was about August, I think. Mums and babies and a daddy in the field together. I didn't think they were supposed to put the bull in the field with the mums and the babies, but anyway, this farmer had, and I thought there was something a bit amiss because as I walked into the field, normally a cow will move away with its calf, won't it? Be like, oh, hang on, you're a strange person, and they'll move away. And these cows just like proper attitude. My interpretation of cows thinking there, but they were just like, like this woman, this female cow just looked at me just as if to say, you've got no chance. I'm not moving. So I had to walk round them, this mum and baby, even the baby, just complete attitude. And as I was walking down the wall, I did walk very close to the wall, all of a sudden I heard this kind of call to action, moo, and all the cows turned and started walking. Now, they weren't running, but they were walking briskly towards me. And they were mooing away, mooing. I was like, whoa, hang on, what is going on here? And now in that moment, I found that very quickly I was in the present moment. Right, there are actual cows coming towards me. They don't look happy. I need to get out of their way. They I don't know what they're after, but I don't look like they're after me. Now, much of that may have been a story. They just might have thought I had a carrot or something. Do cows even eat carrots? I don't know. Anyway, so but before I even knew it, I was over the wall and on the other side. There was no panic. There was no anything. There was just me, my body moving me over into the next field, where fortunately they were just some very stupid sheep. So I was fine. They weren't interested in me at all. Sheep don't tend to be. Plus, also, I kind of feel I could defend myself against a sheep. Cows, maybe not. Anyway, it was really interesting because very quickly after that, I started to think about what could have happened. Of course, then I started to feel really like, oh, hang on a minute, this is awful. So it was really, really interesting to see how that innate well-being, which I think is there in the essence of us, with our intuition, with our guidance, with our wisdom, just it was there. There was no thought involved. There was no nothing. It was just my body moving over a wall, climbing over a wall, and getting out of the way of some cows. It was just amazing to see how that was just there. Didn't have to do a technique or a tool to try and find that. It was just there. And I would love you to, like, from a place of curiosity, can you reflect on your life and times when you've just seen that in the moment, when you just noticed your ability, or that just natural way you can just fall into presence really with ease without needing to do anything at all. Like, have you seen that? Yeah, I love that, Pamela, that you fell into, yeah, appreciation of that system and how amazing it is. So this is when we say your innate well-being, accessing it is only a thought away, because it only ever is a thought away. Have you noticed other times when you've got a story about a time when you just fell into calm like that? You might have been really caught up with something, and bang, you're in calm. Nothing, no tool, no technique, no fiddling about with your thinking, no trying to change your feeling, no tapping, no affirmations, no nothing, just I'm in the moment, I'm in the present, I'm dealing with what is. Another example for me is, me and my ex-husband used to fight like cat and dog. We were terrible, terrible. And, much as I would be quiet, he was a shouter, bless him, but, I would be talking. We would be arguing in the kitchen, say, and then we'd hear the children starting to do something, getting upset, whatever, and immediately it just falls away. All that thinking about anger and upset and not feeling very well at all, feeling very, very agitated in the body and angry and upset, and then you hear a child cry and you're in the present moment with the child. And you can't find your way back to that argument again because it's just gone. Thinking's moved on. And you feel calm and present just dealing with the child that needs you. Hello, Eleanor. Lovely to see you. So what we've got in this concept of innate well-being is, and when I say the word concept, for me it feels like truth. But what I would love is for you to see that yourself. So we'll call it a concept. We've got a concept of innate well-being. We've got this concept of the diamond, of this essence of who you are, this essence of light and love and freedom and peace and confidence and resilience and innate well-being. This is solid. This is the diamond. And that over time, you and I and everybody else as adults have just learned to think a lot of utter rubbish. Just to not put too fine a point on it. We've just learned to do a lot of thinking and a lot of spending time in our thinking and a lot of trying to work things out in our thinking and going round and round and round trying to find our well-being in our thinking. And our thinking says your well-being is out there, your well-being is in you behaving a particular way. For you, Hannah, it looks like your well-being is in the avoidance of illness. I mean, your emotional well-being is in your avoidance of illness. And so, yes, of course, the thinking, the worrying, the avoiding of things that we think can make us ill is of course so sensible. But all of that noise is just like a merry-go-round, going round and round and round, and it is like a loop. It's the same loop over and over again. Now, it's maybe not quite like a merry-go-round. It's like a spiral, that we keep going, we go back up the spiral and back down the spiral and round and round and round. In fact, you know what it is like? I went to not the zoo, the circus. I went to the circus. Circuses are so different to when I was a kid. When I was a kid, you had elephants and lions and goodness knows what in the circus, and there are now no animals at all in the circus. Although this circus was from Brazil, so I suspect it would have been difficult for them to bring the animals with them. But there are, I don't think we allow animals, especially not wild animals, in circuses anymore. But they had this thing where these motorbikes drove into this big sphere thing, and then they proceeded to go around and around inside the sphere, like going upside down, going sideways, like going really fast. And they started off with 2 of them in there, and I think by the end, I think there were 8 of them in there. Like it was one of those things where you're kind of watching it and then you don't want to watch it. You think something's going to go wrong. I'm sure it doesn't go wrong because they've done it hundreds and hundreds of times. But it was like that. And that, bless you, Hannah, and bless you for laughing at it, like do enjoy the humour of seeing our own, like, for me, it's like seeing my own craziness and going, aha, I see you there, you little blighter. But it's like that. It's just going round and round and round and round and trying to find the right path and trying to find the right thing to do to feel okay. And all of that is just this conditioning, this learned behavior, because at some point we did something that seemed to make us feel better. Like, let's take a few examples of that outside in seeking of well-being. It starts, doesn't it, with the relationship. If I'm in the right friendship group, if I have the right friends, if I'm fitting in at school, that starts there, doesn't it? It probably starts way before there, but this is just one example of a place where we think our well-being is. And it just looks like at that stage, and I remember feeling a little bit outcast when I was at high school, secondary school, and not feeling like I quite fitted in. And it feels like if I was just accepted by the right friendship group, if I was in with the in girls or whoever they might be, I know I've watched enough American high school shows like High School Musical. I was subjected to that because my daughter was just the right age for High School Musical when that was on. I've watched all the films. I think I've even been to see the show live in the theatre. Look at me. Actually, I quite like We're All in This Together. I feel that's a good theme tune for our sessions. Maybe I should play it as we come in. Because we are all in this together, because we're all doing it in the same way. We're all doing the same thing. This same psychological function. We've all got a different flavour because we all think differently. So, that's one of those examples where, right when we're quite young, we're kind of trying to, and it feels good. It looks like it feels good. Yeah, we're finally in the friendship group. Millie What's-Her-Face, who's the absolute BITCH of the school, has finally accepted us. And yes, it feels for a little while we're kind of woo, and then we probably kind of notice that that's not, oh yeah, it's all right being in the in crowd. But then it feels like, well, oh, maybe I'm not quite there. Maybe I need to be Millie What's-Her-Face's best mate. So I'm gonna do a little bit more now. I'm gonna try and be her best mate. I'm gonna invite her around for sleepovers at my house, and then she'll be my best mate, and then I'll feel really good. We do that. It's not quite there though, is it? Like it is for a bit, but it doesn't really sustain. And then we think, well, maybe I need a boyfriend. Maybe that's what I need. I need my own person, because Millie's got her own person as well. And she's got friends, but she's got a boyfriend. Maybe Millie feels amazing because Millie's got all the stuff. She's got all the friends. She's got best friends. She's got a boyfriend. So I need a boyfriend too. So I'm gonna get myself a boyfriend. We get the boyfriend, and he's all right, but not really feeling like, it's okay, but he's nice and everything. But I don't really feel that thing I wanted to feel. I kind of wanted to feel there'd be more than this. There'd feel more amazing. And I like being with him and everything, but I don't feel like yay. I don't feel yay, and I don't feel really content. So it goes on, and it goes on like that in our relationships, and then it goes on like that in our profession, our education, and then our professional life. So we're looking to, when we're very young, we're looking to please those around us, aren't we? So we do a spelling test and we go, I got 19 out of 20 on the spelling test, and somebody says, well, you should have got 20, or where's the other one? Whatever people say. And so we're like, right, well, I've really got to get 20 out of 20 on everything, so I'm going to work really hard at school, and then I'll keep pleasing people around me, and that'll make me feel well. I'll feel my well-being when I'm doing well. And so we do that for a bit, and we chase the academia, or we chase the qualifications, or we chase and then we take that into our career, don't we? We chase it there, chase the well-being there, chase. Now, when I burnt out, that really was the underlying issue, was that I was at it like a lunatic, trying to find my well-being in the outside world. So I split from my husband, fundamentally thought that had been my well-being sorted. Oh dear. Well, everybody was happier, like on that superficial level. It wasn't a particularly healthy relationship, so it's definitely better for us to not be together anymore. However, I didn't suddenly feel like, woo, yeah, I'm okay now. So then I did loads of online dating. Turns out you can't find your happiness on online dating, ladies, just in case you're wondering. I found it like a whole heap of, I had online dating anxiety, Hannah. That's the thing. because I was, again, trying to find my well-being in those people, and I needed those men to behave in a certain way and to make me feel good and message me and message me when they should message me. I message them, they don't message straight back. I'm like, woo, what's going on here? This is no good. So there's all of that. And hello, Summer Star, lovely to see you. I am in the moat home in Aberdeen, and a bit of a dull day today. So then we're seeking it in. I was looking for it all over the place outside, like all over. Where's my well-being? I keep doing the thing. I go on this day. I actually once or twice, maybe more than that, because I was a teacher and I had school holidays off. I did 3 dates in one day on more than one occasion, folks. Don't judge me, please. I was desperate to find the person. And so I did a lot of online dating. I did a lot of salsa dancing, quite liked that. And then I started to notice that my job wasn't kind of making me feel good anymore. So I needed to get rid of that and get a different job, a promotion, which is the last thing I needed within a year of splitting up from my husband. And my ex-husband moved next door. I kind of felt like my well-being depended on him being there for a long time, and he didn't go away. He stayed there, and it'll be 10 years in November, and he's still there. He still lives next door. So, and he's now marrying the mistress, just to let you know, laughably. So, like, she's going to be Mrs. Downham and I'm going to be Mrs. Downham. We're going to live next door to each other. The postman's going to have a field day with that one, isn't he? What do we call them? They're not called postmen anymore, are they? That's not very. Anyway, the post person. The post person. It is a man, to be fair. Our postie is a man. I'm going to be living next door to the second Mrs. Downham within weeks. In a few weeks he gets married. So that seemed to be damaging my well-being for a very long time, that he was living next door. And so that we're doing it there, like we're doing it in our career, we're doing it in our relationships, we're doing it by, I spoke to a lady once who was considering moving countries to try and make herself feel better. And unfortunately, she had been advised to do that by a so-called coach, to move countries. This is where coaching unfortunately gets a bad name sometimes. Yeah, I feel like my life is a soap opera, Pamela. Thanks for noticing. I feel like it's like a soap opera. It's really funny, actually. It's not funny because my son did not handle my marriage breakup well. He lost his you-know-what. He really did. He was not a happy bunny. He was horrible to everybody. And eventually we had to just sit him down and say, do you know you're being horrible? And everybody else is having a tricky time with this, but you're just being really horrible. And he actually stopped. He had no idea how horrible it was being. Anyway, so at the time, so my son's in a soap opera. And at the time when we were going through this breakup shenanigans, unfortunately, his mum on the soap opera was going through a breakup as well. So my poor kid was like having to act. He didn't have to act any of it because he was really peed off about the breakup, and the character who plays on the show was also really peed off. So it was useful for him. He was doing some is it called method acting? Anyway, he was just being himself, really, bless him. Typecasting it was, I think, at the time. So we do all of that. Like, tell me the things that you've done. Like, have you moved countries? Have you moved house? Have you moved across the country, chasing your well-being, trying to feel better? Now, I'm not saying don't move house. I'm not saying don't move countries. But don't think you're going to feel better when you get there, because it isn't where your well-being is. Oh, Naomi, that's beautiful. It feels like looking for a treasure. And when you dig it up, you just find another treasure map and then you repeat. Oh my God, it's just so, Naomi, that's absolutely genius. Brilliant. That's exactly what it's like. Exactly what it's like. Oh God, it's so like that. I'm going to steal that, Naomi. Probably put it on social media somewhere, if you don't mind, because that's just brilliant. I absolutely love that. The podcast I was listening to before, she said it's like it's like you, because there is there seems to be some temporary relief, doesn't there? There seems to be some temporary relief, say the word. There seems to be some temporary relief from the change, doesn't there? So I'm not really sure, very sure, Naomi. Like it's almost like an initial, ooh, like when I was pursuing my career heavily in terms of trying to feel better, it was yeah, when I started the new job, I probably had quite a few months of being, oh, this is such fun, because it was fun, it was exciting, it was new. So I wasn't really thinking about, I wasn't like caught up in, is Claire okay? It was more presence. Oh, I've got to kind of, oh, there's some stuff to do at this school. I've got to help them. I've got to bring a new thing in. There's things to do. And then it was probably about 18 months in that the rot would start, that I would kind of start going, oh, really feel how I thought I would feel. I thought this was it, because I did feel amazing for a while. I don't feel so, and the gradual rot would start, and then it was generally about it's 4 years. Every time I moved jobs, it was 4 years. It's like a 4 year. I had the 4 year itch. Talk about 7 year itch in a relationship. I had a 4 year itch. So I kept moving jobs all the time. So yeah, so we keep chasing and chasing and looking outside of us, and I suspect for many of us that's the rest of our lives. But I do think, like particularly for women, that burnout is becoming rife, and it is us trying to feel okay about ourselves. And that can, for women, come out as, I was talking to a lady earlier, as trying to make sure everybody's okay. Like, as a woman, can you relate to that? I'm trying to make everybody feel okay. I'm watching my children, my partner, my parents, my job. And I'm trying to just, because it's in our nature, I think, to want to look after people. So we're trying to look after everybody, and we're trying to, we're trying to keep everybody happy. And so as a result, we end up with a lot of balls in the air and a lot of plates spinning, and we just keep at that. So we're chasing and chasing and chasing in the outside world, is what I'm trying to say. And then I think for most of us probably in this room, something changes a little bit, and we start to see that there's something not okay about us. So then it's like, okay, right, well, if I could just have different thoughts and different feelings and different behavior, then I would be okay. So the lady, I was just saying before, the lady whose podcast I was listening to earlier, she said it was like, it's like nesting. That, it's like we go off into the world and we find a thing that we think makes us feel better, and we bring that back to the nest, and that's like a feather that we sit on, and it's all comfy for a little while, and then, oh, the branches are poking through again of the nest. We need to go find something else, because maybe there's more to be seen, or maybe we can go deeper, or maybe I've not seen it all yet, and I think that's the journey we end up on when we're in this kind of spiritual well-being, self-development bit. Oh, I'm trying to write it in the box. Really funny, actually. I've just brought a dream back to me that I was having dinner with Amy Johnson and somebody else who's going to be I'm going to an event in November in Spain when Amy Johnson's going to be there. And I was having dinner with Amy Johnson and somebody else and saying, oh, I'm going to be there in Spain. Very strange. The dream just came back to me. Summer Star, you made my dream come back. So we're just chasing, and I feel like there's sort of two layers. So that first layer of looking for our well-being in the outside world is this outside in, which is I need to try and make things different, my life be different, my circumstance be different, the people in it be different. And once all those things, like whack-a-mole, once all those things are down, if I can just keep them all down and keep them all okay, then I'll be okay. But of course, they don't stay down, they pop up because that's the nature of whack-a-mole, that's what it does. And then the second layer is the layer of the self-help, the self-fixing, the self-development stuff, where it looks like if I could just have a better experience, if I could just have better thoughts, if I could have better feelings, if I could behave better, then I will be okay. And so we enter a different level of chasing and a different level of not seeing our innate well-being, because we're off again in the outside doing the tools and techniques. Even looking at the past is the outside, because it's the past. It's not in this moment. It's not there. So we're then still, so all of this, whether we're looking at our circumstances and the people and everything out there, or whether we are continually trying to change us and fix us and make us better, we're looking in the wrong direction, because you're already there. You already are innate well-being. Not you have it, you already are innate well-being. There is nowhere to get to, there is nowhere to go. You are already there. And so that's why we can't find it. And that's why we find one tool or technique, and we kind of, that seems to bring a bit of ease and it feels a bit better for a while, and then we kind of go, it's not really that though, is it? It's not, it doesn't work, it doesn't keep working, or we think that maybe there's more, or so we just go looking again outside of us, and we go find something else to do and some other healing to partake in, or and it becomes like a never-ending journey, a never-ending seeking, and all because we're looking the wrong way. And I think in some ways that's what I found helpful about this conversation, was that I had spent, like Pamela's saying, trying to find this thing, this elusive thing, for 35 years of your life. Like many people. Me, not so long, I don't think. But definitely a big part of my adult life. How I see it for me was that I was looking over here. Like I was looking over here. Here's Claire's nonsense. Here's what's wrong with Claire. Here's why she's broken. Here's all Claire's problems, and what can we do to fix Claire? So it was all this very, very, very judgmental, very, very self-aware, but very judgmental. There's something wrong with Claire. And then, there was something about this conversation, and maybe I hope that because you're spending time here, that you're seeing this a little bit, that it was like, oh, here's some interesting people having a different kind of conversation to what I've been involved in. Let's just spend some time here. And it was almost like by turning my back, and I hope you're watching this, because you can see what, almost by doing this 180 turn and turning my back on the trying to fix Claire, that a whole load of stuff just fell away. That my innate well-being was given the opportunity to just show itself, I guess. And then I just started to notice it was there more of the time. I could see it in myself more of the time. And that more and more of the time, it just felt like it was literally a thought away, that it was a breath away, that it was just a moment away. That's all. Nothing, not far away at all. Literally there, all the time. And that doesn't mean that I've stopped seeking. I still listen to 3 Principles stuff every day. because I find it interesting as much as anything. I love listening. One of the podcasts I've shared there, Changeable. It's just interesting. And I'm going to meet the lady in November, so I'm quite excited to meet her. So that's part of it. So let me just go back up the comments because I feel like I've ploughed on. Yeah, Pamela, sometimes maybe protection until we can digest it all at one time. Yeah, I think most of what we're doing has got a protection element. Everything that's in thought has got protection at its heart. And I think there's something about sitting with some gratitude for our clever system that is just always trying to get us back to calm. It's just sometimes it doesn't know where to look because it's thought that's doing the looking, and thought doesn't know where our well-being is. It thinks it's everywhere else but where it really is because we've been told that. So Hannah, that's what you do, just keeping everyone happy and making sure everyone is okay. Bless you, Hannah. Yeah, I think that's... I had a really beautiful conversation earlier with a client, and I'm going to share it with you because actually I think it was a huge realization for her. So she's been in this conversation for a while, and I said to her at one point in the conversation today, I said to her, if somebody pulls out in front of you at the roundabout and you get upset. No, I did it the other way around. No, that's right. I said to her, if you pull out in front of somebody at the roundabout, and I'm going to start again. Third time. Okay, right. If somebody pulls out in front of you at the roundabout and you beat your horn, you get upset and angry, and you beat your horn. Where are those feelings coming from? And she said, inside me. It's my thinking about the person pulling out. It's me who's beeping the horn. It's all about me. And then I said, so if you pull out in front of somebody at the roundabout and somebody else beeps their horn, how did they become angry? And she said, I did that. I was just like, wow. So basically, she'd seen it's inside out one way, but not the other. She thought, and this is for you, Hannah, she thought she was making other people feel things, but she didn't think other people were making her feel things. So that's like double the responsibility, isn't it? I'm responsible for my own feelings, apparently, and I'm also responsible for everybody else's. But we're not. We don't make anybody feel anything. And everybody else also has their own innate well-being. And some of you have been on a bit of a journey with me over the last week or so with my daughter Sophie's boyfriend dumping her with 2 weeks before they're supposed to be moving in with each other. Less than 2 weeks, actually, before they were supposed to be moving in with each other. And, not being there has been quite good because I've just seen her innate well-being shine through. She is fine. She is so fine. She was in shock in that moment of finding out, and she had a proper sad few days, understandably. But oh my God, she's just fine. I can see that she's fine. That changes how you are as a parent. It changes this whole idea of it being your job to make other people happy. So, Summer Star, I feel like you put another comment and then you've put a correction that's tank top, but I can't actually see the first comment. It's disappeared. Why does it do that? It's so annoying. Because I know you wrote something else and then you put a little amendment, which was tank top. So now, Summer Star, your comment just says tank top and the other bit's missing. So I'd love to know what you said that had the word tank top in it. It was something about you listening to my podcast or something. But I can't remember now, and it's gone. Why did they disappear? Just tank top, Summer Star. I love it. It's making me laugh. So Anne HH, I'd love to know where that came in, or maintain the idea that all is well, but actually there's a denial of discord. I'd love you to just talk to that a little bit more, Anne, if that's okay. Discord. I'm going to look that word up because I feel like I could talk about Discord in a session. Because what is Discord? About making all happy. Well, we can't do that because we're not responsible for other people's feelings, are we? Just can't. So let me have a look. What else have we got? Thank you, Myra. This whole talk is very relatable. You left the country looking for that better XYZ. Realise you need to come home for yourself, very enlightened. Home to yourself, very enlightening. Yeah, beautiful, Myra. Beautiful. And it's interesting for me because those of you that know me know that eventually the plan is to live more of the time in this motorhome and travel abroad more. Yeah, and I sometimes go, what's that all about then? But it just feels like a fun thing to do. I'd be okay if I don't go. It's a preference. And that's something cool about our well-being, is to see we can have preference after preference after preference, because preferences are great fun. I prefer, like, don't be giving me strawberry ice cream, man. It's gross. But who does? Let me know who does like strawberry ice cream. Some people do. There's some very strange people about. Give me like a salted caramel, or not even vanilla, just like not really. So it's beautiful that you saw that, Myra, definitely. Hello, Laura. And we've talked about Paula's comment. Oh, Jenny, hello, lovely to see you. So Laura, you think there's a base of well-being and comfort to feel that in the body, especially? Yeah, I think it's knowing that's just that pool of well-being is just there. It's just there all the time, Laura. It's nice to think of it as a base. I like the diamond metaphor because I get this lovely sense of that being indestructible, and I like the indestructible. And I love the way you said in your body, like for me, sometimes I can experience that by just like right now, just taking a breath and feeling my feet on the floor. And that presence is part of it, isn't it? It's just beautiful to see that when we can. So yeah, and thank you. Yes, about making everybody happy. So back to your comments, Summer Star. You were listening to my podcast on the way to the gym. When you finally look down at what you had on, you notice your tank top said calm. Oh, that's so cool, Summer Star. You should put that in the group. You should put that in the group. I love that. Yay. Yeah, I go to Primark. Do you have Primark in the US? I feel like you probably do. They're everywhere. I've seen them in other countries, but yeah, they have some. Do you not? Anyway, Primark, cheap and cheerful clothing. You probably have. Is it Target? You have Target, don't you? That's like cheap and cheerful clothing. Bit of household stuff, but most of clothing. Oh, toiletries as well. They do like makeup and things. But anyway, they've got a series of t-shirts that have got t-shirts that have got all sorts of nice little things on. Target is like Primark. Thank you, Wendy. TK Maxx, Patty. Oh my God. I mean, I don't really believe in therapy as a rule, but I think I need to take a Valium before I go in, and I need therapy when I come out. You have to really be ready for TK Maxx, don't you? You have to be in the TK Maxx frame of mind to go into TK Maxx, because it is it's crazy in there. It's like an insane, it's like a crazy jumble sale. I don't know about, you need therapy for the retail, actually, Wendy, I think. So, and you said that you mean that some women, when everybody starts chatting and I can't see. Yeah, Laura, I like what you've said there to Myra. Sometimes we do need to just realise it. We do need to make the change is what brings about the realisation, and that's life working for us, not to us, as the beautiful Byron Katie said. Rachel likes strawberry ice cream, but I still love you, Rachel. But I guess actually if it's freshly made, like with actual nice fresh bits of strawberry in it, that might be different. Can we do that vegan, please? I'm not a vegan, but I don't eat dairy. I have my own special way of eating because you can do that, there's no rules. So Anne, you said you meant some women spend enormous energy keeping things calm, but it's a cause for deep problems that she's avoiding. Yeah. Yeah, I used to be passive aggressive. That's right. Inside I was like, and on the outside I was like talking to my ex-husband like this. And why isn't you can't talk in a calm voice? And really patronising to him. Not nice. TK Maxx, yes. Target is like Primark, yeah. We even have a UK brand here at Target in skincare. Oh, do you? There you go. My favourite UK brand of skincare is Tropic. I like a bit of Body Shop as well, but Tropic's amazing. It's 100% natural. It's one of those Lord Sugar businesses that he kind of took on. So, I mean, we need some comfort around. You can speak about this with some level of comfort and well-being in the way you live, sleep, etc. I know this now from experience. There's a base to say that you are. There is a base to say what you are saying. I mean, so I guess, are you talking about physical well-being there, Laura? That'll be useful to know. Yeah, TK Maxx isn't so busy. There's just so much stuff, Patty, isn't there? There's just so much stuff in there, and it's sometimes it's a bit much. I mean, you have to be. I've had my colours done. Has anybody else had their colours done? Where somebody like drapes you with bits of fabric, and they say to you, they tell you what season you are. So I'm an autumn. I've got my colour palette. In fact, can I reach back on the palette to see what it's like? I feel like it's but I have like a swatch thing now with all my colours in it, and you see I wear a lot of yellow and orange and brown, and that's because I'm categorised as an autumn in my colouring. So at least when I go into TK Maxx now, I've got my little fan out of my fan of colours, and I can kind of go, yeah, there's some things I can look at. Oh, thank you, Summer Star. I've had a lot of sun in the last few days because there has been a lot of sun in Aberdeen, of all places to have sun. It's been absolutely beautiful. So, hopefully I've picked up all the comments now. So let's just do a little recap and see what comes out of that in terms of anything else you want to explore. So, what I'm pointing to is that there is an essence of us as human beings called innate well-being. I'm going to call it innate well-being. What we have to realise is that I'm just wrapping words around stuff that isn't actually a word. So we're going to kind of call something innate well-being. We can call it light, love, peace, your essence, innate. You can call it intuition, wisdom. You can call it all sorts of things. It doesn't really matter. But there's this energy of life that is flowing through you. And flowing is really important in this, I think, to see that we are flowing beings, that we are not static, that we are not one thing all the time, because we're not. So there's this essence, this, I'm going to call it innate well-being, that we're born with. We're all born with it. We're all born, as they say, perfect, whole and well. We're all born with innate resilience. We can see that in small children. And then as we grow up, that gets covered up by our thinking. We get conditioned. We learn where we think our well-being comes from because some things seem to feel nicer than others. And over time, we kind of get this idea about where our well-being actually is because we think it's somewhere other than inside us. And somehow we've lost sight of our own ability to get back to calm, to get back to that innate well-being. We've somehow forgotten that we have this psychological immune system, the job of which is to just take us back to calm. And we start thinking there's something for us to do to fix that. That there's something more for us to look at in order to make that to make ourselves feel okay. And so then initially we look in the outside world, we try to seek approval from others, we try to seek um, things in the world, concrete, commercial things. Might as well say that, it came out anyway. We try to change our circumstances, we might move, we change our stuff, we have different relationships, and we're all the time trying to find our well-being out there. And then we have some kind of realization about something to do with the inside, and then we think, well, if I can only have better feelings and better thoughts and better, better behavior, if I can be better, if all these things about me would disappear, then I'd be okay. If I didn't feel anxious anymore, I'd be okay. If I never got angry again, I'd be okay. If I never, ate excessive amounts of chocolate again, I'd be okay. But what I'm pointing to here is that we are already okay. We're just looking in the wrong direction. And that when we start to come that life from this place of innate well-being, we do just start more of the time to see our own okayness in the moment. And I would say as well, presence is so key with this. If you are really in the present moment, if you are noticing those thoughts that are not, and you are falling back into the present moment again and again, you will fall back to well-being, because that's where it is. That's the only place it is. And you're already home. There's nothing to change about the outside world. There's nothing to change about you. You are okay. And I know that's really hard to see sometimes, because you are not being told that by, I suspect, an awful lot of people. If you're on this self-help journey, there will not be too many people telling you that you're okay. Because where's the money in that? Where's the money in that? When I've worked with someone, they usually walk away after a fairly short period of time. If I tell someone they're broken, they're probably going to stay working with me for much longer. If I tell them the only answer is to go into the past over and over and over again, and they keep feeling bad because they keep going into the past and feeling the past, feeling the thoughts about the past again and again and again, then they're going to stay working with me, aren't they? For a long, long time. So, God bless the self-help industry and all who sail in her. But, and maybe there's more to be seen about what's already inside you. Thank you, Pamela. That's really generous. I haven't mentioned donations at all again today. I'll be in the naughty corner. So thank you so much to Pamela for making a donation, just, reminding me to remind you that these sessions are brought to you by donation, that those donations support me to turn up here on a regular basis, and they also support Insight Timer in the wonderful work they do in providing this platform. So let's have a little look at what's come up in the comments so far. So I'm just going to repeat Summer Star's lovely compliment, Might Buy Skin. Thanks, Summer Star. Yeah, Tropic Skincare is an award-winning beauty brand. Yeah, fantastic. They are really good. 100% vegan, cruelty-free, and natural. So cool. So Laura, yes, but body and mind are united. So I just left a safe home. The nervous system needs a basic to feel good and work. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're saying that there's safety in a home, Laura. And what do you mean by the nervous system? I'm not talking about the nervous system. I'm talking about innate well-being. That my sense of calm, the calmness of my nervous system is there all the time. And the only thing that ever takes me away from that is the thoughts believed in the moment and the sensation of that occurring in my body that may feel like a dysregulation of my nervous system. So, and you know, Laura, if you're open for a conversation about this and want to explore further, then please, there's a link in my bio link where you can look at that. So, Hannah, your husband and you've been having a lot of conversation about a book reading on minimalism. Yeah, it talks about finding happiness in materialism and maximalism, and that you can't find it in belongings either. Yeah, I agree with you, Hannah. I find that just like somebody said earlier about moving house and moving countries to feel better. I'm trying to see who it was because there's so many comments. Yeah, Myra. I think that that yeah, it can look like stuff is there, but it's not, is it? And I find when I spend so a bit like that realization that was had, I've had a realization by being in the motorhome that I don't need a lot of stuff. I don't need most of my stuff. In fact, I've been in this motorhome now for 2.5 weeks, and I there's a house full of stuff sitting there gathering dust. Well, I'm hoping the cleaners have been actually while I've been away, so it's not gathered too much dust. But we're on a massive decluttering thing at the moment, letting go of all sorts of things where I thought I needed these things to be okay, and I was a terrible buyer of utter rubbish that I didn't need. Not so good. Yeah, and Hannah, I would agree. Also seeking approval in others by the things we own. Yeah, if we're trying to keep up with the Joneses, which I understand you also have as a phrase in the US, that if we're trying to keep up with the Joneses, we think that other people's opinions of us is where our well-being is at, or having the same as other people. And of course, social media doesn't really help with us seeing the world that way. Then of course we will keep chasing. So Laura, you heard the same message today in the middle of the night on another live. Amazing and true. That's beautiful, Laura. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it, how when you're ready to hear a message, 25 people tell you it in 2 days. It's unbelievable how many people suddenly say it. And Lani, we're all okay. It seems so simple. I don't know that I've heard it quite like this before. Oh, bless you, Lani. I hope you're finding it helpful. I'm with you on, yeah, it's so, yeah, we are all okay. Thank you, Lani. So, Patty, you listen to a radio program on Indigenous radio. Ooh. About a woman who wrote a self-help book from personal experience. She suggested self-help always comes from within, something you cultivate. Well, I mean, even more than that, Patty, I would say that we don't need it, any of it. It becomes less. I would say the longer time I spend in this understanding, the less I feel the need to do anything. Breathing, feeling my feet on the floor. Sometimes I do a little bit of distracting, I suppose, sometimes. But I find it's less and less, less and less. It's this, Patty, yeah, that is self-care. Just in this moment, what do I need? And luckily, being self-employed and having a work-life integration, I can do that. So the last couple of days, I've been just a bit down. I don't analyze why anymore. My fiance is like, why? Because I'm a woman, Bruce. Because I am. That's just the way it is. I don't have a cycle, like a period cycle anymore. But I do still seem to have these days when I'm just a bit, and I actually looked at the chocolate in the fridge and nearly kind of just had a sip with some chocolate, but I didn't. I just napped and I slept a bit more, and I walked a bit more, and I did a bit more just pottering, and actually, just in the moment, that's what made sense. Oh, thank you, Summer Star. Yeah, I do very little with my skin, really. Bit of toner. I usually use some kind of facial wash thing. Do a bit of toner. Slap a bit of moisturiser on. Sometimes put a bit of stuff under my eyes. That's where I think my age is. showing the most. Patty, Laura is a feeling of comfort. A feeling of comfort can come for your daily habits if your home has moved or changed. And I think really, Patty, I would love to see that, you know, that feeling of comfort hasn't got anything to do with a habit either. Those are nice things to do, but the thing is with the nice things to do and the ideas of what to do is that they're beautiful and helpful, but they do point people back in the wrong direction. Go and do this, have some habits, or go and do this, do some meditation, or go and do that, you'll feel better. And all the time, we're still pointing people away from their well-being. And that's why I don't tell people what to do anymore. Sometimes talk about what I do for fun. So I keep scrolling down the comments and they keep moving. Ha! I like that someone saw these bloody thoughts. Bloody thoughts. Absolutely. Women's also taught Condition Society to be the caretakers, but we've not taught. Yeah, absolutely. And what we're saying is exactly that here, Patty. We're saying, you know, being a woman, we've learned a lot of stuff about how to be in the world. And you know, the client I spoke to earlier, a lot of stuff coming out for her was, I'm the mother, I'm supposed to make this right for everybody. And we are brought up to do that, to be that caring person. Thank you, Hannah. I'm so glad you're appreciating it. Thank you, Lani. Beautiful. Yeah, that's self-care. Patty, it's hard to explain care. I have an autoimmune disease and work with the nervous system is the only way. Have a good night's sleep. Rest. Yeah. Now, I mean, Laura, I have a machine here which also has Hashimoto's, menopause, underactive thyroid, burnt out adrenals, blah, blah, blah. And I do look after it big time. Like, I look after my physical well-being. I walk, I do half an hour yoga or some kind of weights in the morning. I walk for an hour a day. I drink plenty of water. We were talking about kombucha earlier. I avoid chemicals like the plague. I don't take any medicines. I take vitamins. Sometimes herb, use a bit of aromatherapy. I'm all very natural in terms of how I look after this physical body. Absolutely. And I do make sure that I get enough sleep. I'm an early to bed and early to rise person. You know, all of that, because there's a machine here. This is a machine. It's a fleshy, bony machine, but it's a machine. And I don't put petrol in my diesel car either, you know, because that wouldn't make sense to me. But I think when we're connected to this innate well-being, our guidance in terms of what to do around that becomes much more prominent and can lead us really from a place. And what I've noticed, like what I was saying at the beginning, some doctor who I was talking to about my autoimmune condition told me not to drink kombucha, told me it was bad for histamine problems, blah blah blah. And now I drink it every day because I just didn't buy into the story. And you know, I noticed that about my physical health is much better since I've been looking in this direction. And I'm going to talk about physical health at some point this month because I think it's really key with this understanding. I guess if you're dying, I'm not going to say to us, where are my self-help books? No, definitely not. I've got rid of all mine, actually. They went to the charity shop. Let's have a look. Summer Star, you've been going to sauna and eucalyptus steaming. That sounds lovely. And you've been less stressed lately and working out daily. It's helped immensely, along with meditation and yoga. I mean, those are lovely things to do. And there's a sense there, I think, about as we take care of ourselves, that is going to bring about a different kind of thinking, which is going to bring about a different feeling. And you know, that's where we can start to go, oh, it's doing the yoga, it's going for the run, it's the steam, it's the sauna, it's the eucalyptus, that's making me feel less stressed. I suspect it's more that you're taking some time for yourself and you're not spending so much time in your own head, Summer Star. That'll be why. Because it doesn't, your well-being does not come from, your mental well-being does not come from doing stuff. I know that's the story out there, but it's bunkum. There are some things that this physical body works better with, and all those things you've said, Summer Star, absolutely. Like, I do yoga few times a week. I do some strength training, because I'm 52 and I don't want my bones to crumble. I get out in the daylight. I do things that are right for this physical body. But I want you to see this innate well-being as something else, something deeper than that, something that's there no matter whether. Like, I want you to see that this innate well-being, this psychological, mental well-being that's innate to you, is available if you are sick in bed and not able to do any of those things. Like the woman I told you about at the beginning who had the heart attack, and while she was having the heart attack was super calm whilst having a heart attack. She was okay. She knew she was okay. Really amazing. So yes, Hannah, absolutely. You have an autoimmune disease and you feel you have to do something to take care of your body. That makes sense to me. Of course you do. Of course you do. Absolutely. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we're talking here about the pool of well-being that's already inside you. And I would say that is connected to what intuitively you feel led to do. Like I intuitively felt led to be okay with drinking kombucha, so I am. It's seeing that there's so much depth to it. So Patty, you said, so it's a mindset. Well, it's more understanding how the mind-body system works, Patty, to be honest. Seeing this inside-out nature of where our experience comes from. Mindset, I have an odd relate. In fact, I'm going to do a session on mindset. I'm going to do some research about that. Like, what is it? What does it even mean? It's a new word, isn't it? I don't think we had anything about mindset not so many years ago. Yes, to talk about health. Oh, don't worry, Patty. Thank you. Yes, just move on. Yeah, loss of daily habits. Yeah, I'm glad you're helping each other, Patty. Patty, thank you for helping Laura. Don't worry, Patty. There is a recording of this that'll be on my YouTube channel. I've got loads to upload. I just haven't got around to it. It'll be easier at home when the Wi-Fi's a bit faster. Yeah, sleep is important. Couldn't sleep all night in this new home. That's why I'm saying outside is important, because it impacts our own well-being. So having good sleep, etc., feel much better. There are basics. Yes, but Laura, the reason why you're not sleeping in your new place is not anything to do with the new place. It's your thinking about the new place. That's what I'm pointing to. That's not. So you're not. It's not. Yes, absolutely. It's good to get plenty of sleep for your physical health. But the reason you're not sleeping is not the outside world. It's your thinking about the outside world. It's thoughts about where you are. Well, noise is really interesting. Looks like it can keep you awake, doesn't it? But I thought I was a light sleeper. I had lots of rules about Claire and what she needed and how she needed. But I hope you can hear the noise here some of the time as the cars go back. I have slept here for over a week and a couple of days now, with the cars going back in the past in the night. And I've slept fine. And there are practical things we can still do, Laura. Yeah, I thought I was too. I used to say, I had a story, I'm a light sleeper. Now, I still wake up when Bruce crawls across me to go for a flipping wee in the night. Bless him. But there are practical things to do there, aren't there? I sometimes wear, if we're in a really noisy place, like in a lay-by next to an A road, I will wear earplugs sometimes. But I do find that I notice less and less things out there seem to bother me, which is really interesting. So, Hannah, I think that helps the mindset of how. I'm not sure what you mean there, Hannah. If you could just reiterate, I think that it helps. Or I'm going to stop in a minute anyway, but helps the mindset of how we care for the body. Yeah, I think if we are are looking towards physical health and we're trusting our intuition on that, then of course we're going to have a better experience of life. you've been listening in the background. There's a great series on Netflix called, hello, Monica, called Live to 100. Yeah, I'm going to have a look at that. But I also would caution, like out of interest, I am going to watch that. But I am not going to buy into a story that I can't live to 100 and whatever, living where I'm living now. No story. I remember once, and I'm gonna close soon, but I remember once having a conversation with a lady who told me that she'd got some kind of issue due to mold in her house. And as she was describing her symptoms, I was thinking, oh, I've got some symptoms like that, blah blah. And then I just went, no, I am not going to buy into that story. I'm done. I'm done. I'm not going to buy into the story. I'm not going to buy into the story of me having a problem with mold. And I let her speak, and then I just left the conversation, never thought about it again. Just decided that I wasn't going to, because I've done that. I know I have bought into a physical illness because I have believed that I have it. Interesting. So where are we? So Hannah, you think being diagnosed at 15, you had everyone telling you what to do, yeah, and now and too much of that, I imagine, and now it's time to listen to yourself and listen to your own body. So Laura, I hope that's been helpful. Just there may be some practical things to do, but I would also say that you'll get used to it. You'll get used to being in a different environment. But earplugs are great. I use the ones that are like plasticine. They kind of mold into your ears, and so they're really good because you can still hear enough so that if there was an actual emergency and you needed to get up for whatever reason, you would still hear enough noise. But if you otherwise, it cuts out enough noise that you can sleep. It's not quite so harsh. Yeah, I'll have a look at that, Monica. It looks interesting. Do I post the same stuff to podcast as to YouTube? Use the podcast more. So I'm in a bit of a transition phase at the moment, Summer Star, in terms of my podcast, my content on here, my lives on. So I have lives on YouTube. I do a live. I used to do a live every morning on LinkedIn at 7:45, and I've been doing it for quite some time, since August 2020 actually, so 3 years. And I just recently decided, I'm just deciding whether I'm going to carry on doing it. So I haven't done it this week. So I'm just like, these sessions go on to YouTube. Right, folks, I'm going to have to go because I've got a client in a very short time and I need to get ready for that client. I'm loving the chat, but I have to go. I've just seen there's 140 people being here today. I haven't said hello to everybody. I've got so involved. But please do carry on this chat in the group. So the group is called Powered by Calm. Please do join the group. We can chat there. I love to chat to you there, definitely. If you've got any more questions that are coming off the back of this, you can chat to me there. There's a link in my bio where you can connect to me. Powered by Calm is the group. You can connect to me on Telegram. I might be starting a little group on Telegram perhaps, but I'll see. Yeah. And please do connect with each other, but please do join the group. Come and see me there, and I will. Please, join the courses. Check out my free tracks. Thank you so much for being here. My battery's going flat. It's all happening. But I do have a client in 15 minutes, and I really want to be ready for her. So I'm going to shoot off. I'm next here on Friday. I'm trying to put some power into my laptop. Are we charging yet? We are charging. I'm next here on Friday at, let me just get my calendar. Friday at 1:11. So come and see me then. Come and see me on Friday at 1:11. I would love to see you here. In the meantime, check out the group. Let's get a little bit more going in that chat. It would be good to answer any questions, anything that's come up today and you don't feel like I've answered it enough, or you want to connect to me on a deeper level. Remember that there's also a free hour of coaching where we explore one issue that you bring to the table, and I tell you a little bit more about whether you want to come on a journey with me. And I'm not a celebrity coach. I'm not a big books coach. please do come and it's called Powered by Calm, the group. 111 BST, Lani. Thank you. Thanks for checking the time zone. Yeah, I'm in the UK, and I won't be at home quite by then. I'll still be on the road. Lots of love, everyone. I really do have to shoot. This has been fab. It's